Ever since the day that you went away, you went away.
Hi everyone, my name is Andra and I make commentary videos. Today's subject is going to be something that everyone's been talking about for the past week, and that is Shallon Lester, the very problematic YouTuber that we found out about only recently. Like, most of us haven't even heard of this person, even though she had like 400,000 subscribers. But it has been discovered because of D'Angelo Wallace's video that she is racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, and a pedophile. So, to start this off, I want to say how I found out about Shallon, and it was very ironic because her video popped up on my recommended for the first time maybe 2 or 3 days before D'Angelo released his video, which was a very weird timing. And actually, when I watched her videos, I was like, why is no one talking about her? Because she's only saying very toxic things. And ironically, the universe kinda did me a favor and caused all this chain of events that led up to today, because I was actually planning to eventually make a video about her, but I didn't want to be the only one to do it, because I thought if I'm the only person who talks about this, no one's gonna watch my video. So this video is gonna be research heavy. For those of you who are new, my channel is still fairly new, so I assume most of you who are watching are new. I have another video on another influencer called Ariel Charnas, and it will be a similar style to that video, so it's gonna be very research heavy rather than me just having a one-on-one with the camera. So I've got my notebook here with all the research that I've written. Some of it is gonna be sort of repetitive from what you've actually heard already in several other videos, but some of it is gonna be stuff that's not really talked about that much. So I actually, on the day when I discovered her, I watched maybe 10 of her videos to like kind of get a grasp of whether she's like this in every single video or if that was just like a singular incident. And some of those things that I've seen are less talked about, but because I already know them and I'm already familiar, I want to mention them. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is her claims of witchcraft. So I'm a practitioner of neo-paganism, and that includes witchcraft. And in one of her videos, she's claiming that she placed a curse on someone who was like calling her names in school. I'm not sure if he was bullying her or just it was a singular incident. And then she's bragging about how that guy got cancer twice and that guy's brother had committed suicide. So I feel like that speaks volumes on her character. Even if you don't believe in that kind of stuff, it still speaks volumes that she would wish ill on someone and then be happy about the fact that that person has cancer. So in neo-paganism and Wicca and like every single neo-pagan religion, we have this thing that's called the rule of three. So it means that everything you do comes back to you threefold. So if you do white magic and blessings and stuff, the positive energy will come back to you, kind of like karma, but 3 times. But then if you practice black magic and you curse someone, it's gonna come back to you 3 times as well. So most people who are actual witches would never do that because it's too risky. You would do that for a very valid reason in this life. And she compares herself to being a snake because she's venomous. Like, what a load of bullshit. You're just a bad person. And she also had this thing called Evil Week on like Halloween, which was how to manipulate your boss, how to cheat on your boyfriend, how to manipulate your boyfriend. And I was just like, this is how you are in real life? Like, I don't get it. So her YouTube videos are mostly about celebrity gossip combined with life advice and dating advice. But it's one thing to gossip about people, and it's another thing to be this horrible mean girl in real life as well. Because your YouTube persona does not have to be who you are, obviously. If a lot of the, I don't know, paparazzis and tabloid magazine people they are probably not the same in real life with the people that they care about, but she seems to be just as manipulative in real life as she is in her YouTube videos. So I think that's a good place to start when you look at her. And the next thing is how much this woman has lied. So she claimed that she's now 35, but there have been YouTubers on the commentary channels who found out that actually she is 39. Based on this old interview that she gave like 10 or 11 years ago. That's how they found out. When, you know, her age was written in that interview, it was like 28 or 29, 10 or 11 years ago. So she's 39. And she's also lied about the people that she's dated. So firstly, she claims that she dated a K-pop idol, which I find very hard to believe since she doesn't like them for being too feminine. So why were you dating one of them if you don't like feminine guys? Secondly, she claims that there's a Fall Out Boy song made about her, which would kind of imply that she dated one of them, but I used to listen to Fall Out Boy and like when I was in school, so I went on down this rabbit hole to try to search what song she might be referring to. Even obviously it's a lie, but she would have to have a song example that she would give to people when it came to that, and I couldn't find anything.
He reminds me sort of like My Chemical Romance days. I used to be super emo, super scenester. It's a Fall Out Boy song written about me. It doesn't matter.
Another thing she claimed was that she kissed either George Clooney or Leonardo DiCaprio, and she said there's a 50-50 chance if you guess that it's gonna be one of them. So I was just like, okay, George Clooney's been married for a very long time, and then Leonardo DiCaprio only likes girls who are like 18, so I'm sure he wouldn't look at your hand and just calm down. Most notably, what happened is the incident in which she lied about making out with Harry Styles.
I believe that he is truly bisexual because he's quiet about it. But like I said, we'll get there in a sec. So what do I know about Harry Styles? I also think Harry is bisexual and that he likes women even a little bit because I've had my own little interlude with Harry Styles. It was very brief. My friend was on Saturday Night Live for many years and I would go like to the show with her, and One Direction was performing one time, and like the whole underground, like the backstage, it's like this labyrinthine like network, and they were walking one way and me and her were walking the other way, and Harry, like, he just looked at me, he's like, "You're gorgeous," and I was like, "Yeah," and he like pushed me up against the wall, and it was like this drive-by makeout. It was like 30 seconds of snogging, and his friend's like, "Mate, oi, come on, Harry!" And my friend was up there and she's like, "Where did you, were you making out with Harry Styles?" And I was like, I might have just hallucinated. Did I hallucinate that? Did that happen? She's like, "Yes." "What?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Come on, I'm back to the dressing room."
So when I first saw this, it sounded like one of them Wattpad Your Name fanfics, and it was just creepy. No one would just come and like make out with you in front of other people, especially if he's a celebrity. He wouldn't do that because that story would leak 100%. There is CCTV in like buildings such as Saturday Night Live, which is where she claimed that it happened, so someone would have leaked it 100%. And to think that she is criticizing K-pop bands, namely BTS and Monster X, for being too feminine, whereas Harry Styles, who's one of the most feminine Western celebrities right now, it's fine if he's feminine, but if you're Asian and you're feminine, it's not fine. Like, I don't understand. Make it make sense. Thanks. So the BTS video is one of the videos that gets cited the most when it comes to people saying that she's racist.
Oh, okay, let's pull out the posters. Let's pull out the posters and see who they are. We have the women of BTS. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't, look at these people. I don't even know what to call them, boys or girls, because I don't know what they are. Look at these people. Look at this one. I don't know which one he is. Look at those highlights, those chunky Tony and Guy mall salon highlights, and the contact lenses. You are an Asian man. You don't need to look like a girl named Ashley, L-E-I-G-H, with chunky highlights and blue eyes. You're allowed to look like an Asian man with dark hair and dark eyes. All of you are. Why do you all have the same weird orange? Girl, what shade of lipstick is that? You look pretty. You there with the silver hair. That's kind of a hot color. Uh-oh, look at the other side. This one, old Pinky Lee. How do you guys tell these people apart? Because with their hair, okay, this one I could see maybe knowing who he is because he has a different hair color. The rest of them all have the same hair color and the same eye color. I just think, is it weird that I think Asian people should be allowed to look Asian? I don't know. Call me crazy.
So in this video, she's claiming that BTS all have like pink-ish hair, and that's why she does not find it easy to distinguish between them. And then she's saying, why can't Asian men look Asian? So let's say they look Asian like she wants. So they would have natural, most of them, like Asian people, have natural dark hair, like either dark brown or black. Obviously this is not everyone, but it's just the vast majority. And most of them have dark eyes. So how are you finding it hard to distinguish between them when they have pink hair, but then when they all have black hair, you would find it easier to distinguish between them? Like, I just don't understand. Why are you saying that? Obviously, there is a theory in relation to psychology, which is called racial heterogeneity, which means that you find it easier to distinguish between people of the same race as you. Because you see your face in the mirror every day, so you see your own features every day, so you do find it easier to distinguish. But that does not mean that all Asian people look the same. It doesn't. It doesn't take mental gymnastics to realize that what you said there was wrong. And then the fact that she's saying this other band, Monster X, I think, they look the same as BTS as well. So yeah, that is obviously racist. There's no excuse, and it's not only Asian people that she's being racist towards. Someone found this book that she wrote in which she used the N-word and racial stereotypes as well. And with black people, she makes fun of black people for having like a more urban spelling and grammar. So she, in the Pete Davidson video, she makes fun of the guy who's interviewing him, Charlemagne the God, because he spells da with an A instead of E. And she makes fun of his spelling as if like black people are illiterate or something. But then in another video she cites that she likes Bad Baby and she thinks it's funny how she speaks and all that. But her name is spelled wrong and no one's making fun of that, so I just don't understand the double standards here, but okay. She often finds it that if a black woman or a mixed race woman is in a relationship with a white man, she's manipulating him. As is the case of the whole things that she said about Meghan Markle, when she's like, I love her, she's a powerful biracial woman, so I used to love her, but now I realize that she's manipulative. Based on what? Because the royal family, even if they do show certain aspects of their lives to the media, are very private people. So I would like to know where your sources are, because it's the royal family, it's not like a celebrity that lives in Los Angeles that's accessible to you and your sources. Is the royal fucking family. Like, do you know how well guarded they are? Do you know how much security there is? Like, I live in England and we barely know anything about these people. How can you claim from all the way in America that you know all these things? You don't know anything. You are a liar. She's also perpetuating the stereotype that all black men are rappers, as she calls The Weeknd repeatedly a rapper, when he's obviously a singer. He has very few songs in which he actually raps, and it's not a complete song, he just does parts of it like that. He's a singer. He sounds like Michael Jackson. How can you think that's a rapper? Is Michael Jackson a rapper to you?
And when you date a rapper, especially one who is finding fame at the same rate that you are, excuse me, it can be really, really challenging to craft a relationship that makes any kind of sense and that is any kind of stable. What happens when a guy gets famous? He fucks anything caught standing still. Absolutely anything, right? especially a rapper. Why would you get into rap if you weren't trying to have hoes in different area codes? Every area code, 646, 909, 000, 123.
And she also claims that she got this jacket from The Weeknd's management because she promoted his merchandise. So if you're wearing EXO merchandise, but you think The Weeknd's a rapper, what are you doing? What are you even doing with your life? You're one of them people who wears like, I don't know, like Iron Maiden t-shirts, but she's never listened to Iron Maiden her whole life. And another stereotype that she's perpetuating is that black men are cheaters. She claims that The Weeknd and Bella Hadid broke up because he's cheating, because all rappers are cheaters. That's what she said. I don't know if he cheated on her. Abel does sing about cheating quite a lot, but ultimately that was never publicly said outside of music. And music does not always have to be real. So we never know what's gonna happen. And she's also very, very racist towards Latina women and just South American people in general. So notice how she likes Hailey Baldwin, who's dating Justin Bieber, but she hates Selena Gomez, who was also dating Justin Bieber, and she also hates Camila Cabello for dating Shawn Mendes. And she did make this very, very racist comment about ICE and ICE taking illegal immigrants.
Be fat. Be like, well, at least my mom's not an illegal immigrant. At least if I call ICE, they're not going to send my family back to whatever fucking country I came here.
As an immigrant myself, like that really, really hurts to hear that there are people. Obviously, I know because I've had racist or xenophobic, because I'm white. I've had xenophobic incidents happen to me in England since I moved here, but the fact that in America I feel like it's so much worse with xenophobia, racism, everything than it actually is in England. So to think that I have it better than these people, it just hurts my feelings. That they are tearing families apart. And you can say something so insensitive as a joke that ICE is gonna take you back to wherever you came from. What? In regards to her massive hatred for Selena Gomez, she's also accusing Selena Gomez of stalking The Weeknd because her music video for Boyfriend, I think it's called, I'm not a Selena fan, is very similar to The Weeknd's Heartless music video, and that the name Boyfriend is because, you know, Justin Bieber had a song called Boyfriend. So, since when does singing about your experience equal stalking someone? Because all artists do this. The Weeknd sang My Dear Melancholy song Call Out My Name about Selena, in which he pretty much exaggerated that he was gonna give her his kidney, which her management team said that was not true, and The Weeknd did not comment about it, so I do believe that it was just an exaggeration for the sake of creating a good song and good art. So why is The Weeknd allowed to write songs about Selena, but then Selena's not allowed to write about her ex and her own personal experience? I don't get it. And there have been people who said that she also had some comments about Muslim people on her Twitter, but yeah, that's in other videos. As I said, I'm gonna be linking more videos because there's too many receipts for me to just compile in my own video that have already been done by other people. I don't want to discredit people, so I'm gonna leave some of these receipts to them. So kind of going back to the BTS thing, she doesn't like feminine guys, and she also doesn't like guys who are sexually fluid or like bisexual, pansexual, that kind of stuff. She doesn't like it, as she expresses in her video about Youngblood. And she says she can compete with women for a man's attention, but she cannot compete with other men. And I just thought, that's obviously perpetuating the misconception that bisexual people are, or pansexual or anything like that, are just capable of being loyal to a single person, and they are all cheaters and they're all nymphomaniacs.
I don't even understand what pansexual means versus sexually fluid. I don't. And I suppose I could Google it, but I don't know, man. Also, I don't think I can, at this point in my life, date a guy who's sexually fluid because, quite frankly, I don't need the competition. Literally, I don't. Like, I like, girls are enough. And for me to be like, oh, you like, wow, so you want dudes too? Oh, and maybe trans. Okay, well, I am gonna have to start wearing a lot more makeup or less. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know how to compete against girls. I don't know how to compete against guys or like a third gender. I don't know. And I am too old to learn. And that's just me, you know? And like, live and let live. That might not be the right relationship for me.
She's also made comments about transsexual people on her old blog, apparently, when she referred to these trans people as it, so not even a person, and she said that she would make out with a gay guy. So obviously when she said that, it means that she would pester a gay guy and try to convert him. So do you know people are still in conversion camps nowadays in 2020? Like, do you know people are still suffering? And do you know people used to be electrocuted for being gay, or in some countries they are still being killed for being gay? It's extremely insensitive of you to say something like that. I just want to emphasize, it's horrible and insensitive. So Shallon likes to remind her audience that she is bisexual, but she claims that she's only a party lesbian, so she will only occasionally hook up with women, but she wouldn't date a woman because there's too much drama. Obviously there's too much drama when you are the drama in the relationship.
And I've kind of settled, as you might know, on like the term party lesbian. Like, I like to hook up with girls, but right now at this point in my life, I don't want to date a girl. I talk to girls all day. I am a girl all day. It's a lot of estrogen, and I'm like, not one more, you know? Not one more.
Obviously you want to date men because there's this stereotype that men, when you gossip to them, they don't listen and they don't care. So that way you can say all the bullshit you want to say, and if you were to date a woman, she wouldn't take it. Of course that's a misconception, but I'm just basing it on her thoughts of gender roles and heteronormativity, because she's very, very old-fashioned. She claims she's a feminist, but a lot of the things that she says are the opposite of feminism. The next point I'm going to be moving on to is her obsession with underage people, or people who have barely stopped being underage. And in particular, that's going to be Justin Bieber, Harry Styles, Shawn Mendes. So she's been obsessed with all of these men. She's had posters and pictures with them in her house when they were underage or just barely over 18. And she hates their exes. Selena dated Justin Bieber. Taylor Swift, who she also hates, dated Harry Styles. Camila Cabello is dating Shawn Mendes. But notice how she doesn't hate Hailey Baldwin because she's blonde and she thinks that she can relate to her. She said in many videos she thinks they look alike. Honey, no. And other than obsessing over minors and dating only young guys, which she said she does, she also talks about teenagers in her drama videos. So she's made a video about the Hype House, which I don't think is appropriate given your age to talk about these people. Which, again, all the mainstream media is talking about TikTok right now, which I still don't think it's appropriate at all. Leave these kids be on a platform for kids, because there's no room for people who are in their 40s on the news talking about the Hype House. I always found that weird. The next point is something that most people talk about, which is that Shallon is attempting to diagnose people of either different mental disorders or completely claim that they are lying about their mental and physical illnesses. So to start with the physical illnesses, because that's a little shorter, She thinks that Justin Bieber lied about having Lyme disease to keep Hailey by his side. And she also thinks that the Hadids have lied about having it because based on statistics there's not that many people in California who have Lyme disease. But then again, someone in the comments have said that you can get it from like horses and stuff, and obviously all the Hadids, they have a farm with their own horses, so they might have got it from the same horse, because I think it's like Bella, Anwar and Yolanda, they all have it supposedly, which I don't really know too much about, but I don't think that's a thing you would lie about. With all the access they have to good doctors, you'd think that it would be genuine, because they can get any doctor in the world. Next up, it's the mental illnesses. So she can discredit people for having mental illnesses, such as when Selena Gomez said she has bipolar disorder, and Shallon thinks it's a cry for attention and a lie. But she also thinks that with her having a kidney transplant, she's accusing Selena of drinking and doing drugs. So with the drinking stuff, there are a lot of media outlets and tabloids that have written about it, so I do believe that. But with the drug stuff, until you find hard solid proof, no one's gonna believe you. And she does the same with Pete Davidson, in which she says that he's saying that he's a cutter and that he's suicidal just to get attention and to take revenge at people. I don't understand that. Make it make sense, because when you say that you are suicidal and the only reason you're not killing yourself is your family, that's not revenge, that's showing your appreciation for people for saving you. If I hadn't had my friends when I tried to commit suicide at 16, I wouldn't be here now. And thanks to my friends, I'm still alive. It doesn't mean that me sharing these problems with my friends made me a bad friend filled with this desire for revenge. That's not what it means. The Pete Davidson thing has bothered me so much because I love him so much and I feel so bad that everything happened with him and Ariana. I see him as the victim, but Shallon sees Ariana as the victim. Ultimately, we'll never know. Maybe both of them made mistakes, but I feel like what she did with him was very selfish, and she just jumped into a relationship with him to not be alone and then called him a distraction. So him clapping back at her is fine, in my opinion. Shallon had a bone to pick with the fact that Pete Davidson said that Ariana is blackfacing and he shouldn't call him a distraction and stuff, and that because he's a man he should just like be quiet and take it. I don't think so. I think a man is entitled to strike back with the same power that a woman strikes at him. And it's the same as saying, you know, if you're a victim of domestic abuse but you're a man, it's fine because the woman's not as strong as you. Obviously it's not fine. Abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter what gender, and it can happen to anyone. Another thing she does with everyone is diagnosing people with different disorders or just different flaws, let's say. I'm gonna start with the smallest ones, which are the flaws. She thinks that Bella Hadid and Kylie Jenner are both extremely insecure women because they've had surgery because they were less pretty than the rest of their families. That might as well be true. Like, I think to some extent that's true, but I don't think it's your place to say if you don't know these people. Maybe they were insecure in the past and maybe somehow they fixed it with time and with not just surgery but being more successful in their careers. Maybe that helped them. You don't know what they are like. And then the most severe ones are the mental health diagnosis, and I'm gonna give you an example of her saying something completely wrong that goes against everyone's education in psychology, which by the way she does not have. And that is Ellen DeGeneres and Shallon saying that she's a psychopath. And one of the arguments in which she cites that that's why Ellen might be a psychopath is her love for animals. And you know what she says? She says, do you know who loved animals and made laws for protection of animals? Hitler. Okay, so to get this straight, when I heard about that, that's when I stopped watching, because I was like, no way I'm watching this person, even to hate watch, because that's what I was doing at that point, but I was just so over it. So you are diagnosing Hitler with being a psychopath when he's not alive and he's not had a formal diagnosis. Obviously something was mentally wrong with Hitler, but he's dead. We will never know what it was, because being a psychopath implies a certain lack of emotions, which you don't know if he's had that lack of emotions. Maybe he did have emotions and maybe he did that out of those negative emotions, and it does not excuse it obviously, but I'm just saying it might be a different disorder at play. And you cannot compare Ellen, who's apparently a bad boss or employer or whatever you want to call her, with her employees at the Ellen show. You cannot compare someone being rude to other people to a person who caused genocide. Like, do I need to explain that to you? Honestly, is it so hard to understand? Ellen has never killed someone, so how can you make a comparison between that and that? It just makes no sense to me. And the animal thing, that is completely wrong. So when you start studying psychology, one of the first things that they talk about in psychopathy is that young kids or young teenagers who are suspected of being psychopaths do 3 things, or maybe some of those 3 things, I'm not too sure. I don't have a degree in psychology, but I do read about it quite a lot. And those 3 things are bedwetting, setting things on fire, and animal cruelty. So how can you tell me that being a psychopath means you love animals when all the psychologists and psychiatrists say that being a psychopath implies some extent of violence towards animals, which is the opposite of what you've said? So please, at least do your research more than just surface level bullshit, because there's so many videos in which she takes out her phone and like Google stuff on the spot about what is bipolar, or what is being a psychopath, or what is, I don't know, narcissism, and she just Googles the symptoms from probably Wikipedia, or like the first page that she finds, and then she's like, yes, this matches up, this is the correct thing. Did you even bother to check, I don't know, free sources? Like, that's what I do when I make my videos. I check at least 3 different sources, and that's the smart thing to do. You know, I've checked maybe 10 of her videos, not even 3. I've checked loads of her videos. I've checked her Twitter, her Instagram. That is how you do research. You don't just go on the first page that you find and then you read and then you're like, yes, I'm so right, I'm so smart, I know everything. You don't know anything. And another thing I don't appreciate about her is just her accusatory tone in regards to people possibly doing drugs. So she does it with Selena, she does it with Pete Davidson, and all the while, if you watch her video with Harry Styles, she's scratching her nose and sniffing, which is a sign of, well, cocaine use. So she does that in multiple videos, and the way she speaks, which is very just fast and hyperactive, and I could find, if I want to nitpick in all her videos, I could find proof that she uses cocaine if I wanted to. Like, if I wanted to make a slanderous claim about her in the same way that she does with other celebrities, I could find enough proof to make at least a few people believe me, because she does the same with Selena in one of her videos in which she doesn't seem in the mood to speak. She's like, that girl is drunk, that girl took 4 Xanax and something. How do you know? Like, how do you know the effects of this unless you've tried it yourself? So yeah, I do think she's doing drugs, and I don't care if she's gonna complain and see this, because I'm sure she watches all the negative videos about her right now, because she knows that people are coming for her. And yeah, I don't care. I could find proof if I wanted to. If I want to nitpick in the same manner that she does, based on a few things that she does, say 1 minute out of half an hour video, I can find that 1 minute and be like, oh yeah, look at this. The same way that she does her surface level bullshit research. And then one of my last points is that she's a sexist person, and I'm gonna explain why. She claims that she's a feminist, but at the same time she perpetuates the same old-fashioned gender roles. So she thinks that men cannot be sexually traumatized by women, but women can be. And she uses that as justification for her dating younger men, because she thinks that she cannot be a predator if she's older. But if a man is older than a woman, then that can happen somehow differently. which I feel like it should be the opposite, because women, according to psychology, mature 3 years faster than a man. So if a man is 21, his mental age is more like 18, but then a woman who's 21 is 21. So I feel like this contradicts your argument, and it actually implies the opposite of what you just said. But obviously anyone can be traumatized by anyone, irregardless of the age. I'm not saying it cannot be, but I'm just saying this is a very, very easy way of disbanding your argument in 2 seconds. And she thinks that men should pay for dates, men should make the first move, men should do everything effectively, because a woman is a prey and the man is a predator. And that she actually used that word. She said men are hunters or something like that, and that just, it felt very wrong to me. She also uses very derogatory language when it comes to women, calls them sluts, whores, calls Instagram models sluts as well. And that's not the only type of language she uses. I want to just go through this a little bit and say that she uses words like retard in 2020, when everyone knows that's not acceptable and that's discriminatory towards people with disabilities, either mental or physical. But are we even surprised at this point? We are not.
To another Ask Shallon post that I did for a reader named Kayla in Canada, and she's in high school, and said that the boy that she liked ditched her for like the school slut. What a retard. Anyway, she did the right thing and moved on, because he sounded like, honestly, like a sociopath. It just, ugh. But now she keeps running into him. She doesn't really know how to deal with it because it's awkward. So she wants to know how to make it not so awkward when you run into your ex. I have to deal with this a lot. Living in New York, people think it's like this huge city. It's actually not. It's a small, compact city, and everyone kind of lives in the same places. So you can run into people that you've dated or hooked up with all the time. All the time. Oh, so much. So many times. So you can either not speak to them at all, which is perfectly fine. Don't feel like you have to be friends with everyone you dated. I don't. I mean, I have enough friends. I don't need to be friends with someone who caused me emotional pain or who created a lot of baggage in my life. That's all right. And when you get older, that's something that you'll really learn. It's like, you don't have to be friends with girls who are bitches anymore. You can cut people out of your life.
She also accuses Halsey of jumping from relationship to relationship out of the fear of not being alone and the fact that Halsey apparently doesn't love herself. But with the same breath, Shallon claims that she dated enough people for 2 lifetimes. So if Halsey's afraid of being alone, then what are you? Just what are you? I don't get it. And she also shames women for plastic surgery while having a fuck ton of plastic surgery herself. She shames Bella Hadid for having plastic surgery. So she says, Bella Hadid is gorgeous, whatever, but then with the same breath, she reminds us 30 times in the video, like, that Bella Hadid is man-made. Why do you feel the need to keep reminding us that she's man-made if you accept the fact that she has surgeries and don't judge her for it?
I will tell you that I am actually like the original Bella Hadid plastic surgery truther. I used to work at Star Magazine. I've told you guys this if you're not new to this channel. I was the editor there. And I would obviously see pictures of Bella and all the time. And I'm like, there's just something about her that reads wrong to me. Like, because that means she doesn't have the hand of God shaping her face. She has the hand of man. She has the hand of science. Someone who goes in with filler and like, beep, bop, boop, boop, we're gonna make this perfectly symmetrical. People I do know who know her say she's very clingy and insecure as a girlfriend. Like, she was very clingy, insecure with The Weeknd. And I'm like, really? And everyone's like, yeah, right? Weird, because she's so beautiful. I'm like, well, she's beautiful now. And she's man-made, still hot. That means that they've been doing this since like she was 18. Like, this was probably the first boyfriend she had, you know, since she bought her new face. You know that this is true. Don't come at me acting like you don't know this is true. You know, I did a whole video breaking down what she's had done. She is beautiful, but she is man-made, right?
And she also discriminates against men for not being good looking enough, apparently. So she says about Post Malone and Ed Sheeran that they are both ugly, but then she says all women are beautiful, but all men are not beautiful because they already get to rule the world, so they don't get to be beautiful. Okay, people like you, the man-hating feminist, you're not a feminist. This is why we had to fight so long to have equal rights. Because of people like you. Because of the radical feminists like you. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm missing about her being problematic. I'm sure she said a lot more than that. But I'm gonna end my arguments here and I'm gonna explain where we're standing with her now. So she has disabled her comments on her Instagram, which I think if you want to disable her comments, you have to go through every single post, and she has like 3,000 posts. So that girl has a lot of free time, but not enough time to write a proper apology. She's made her Twitter private. She's made her subscriber count on YouTube private, but in the first maybe 2 days or something since D'Angelo's video popped up, I'm gonna put the actual timeline on my screen. She's lost like 15,000 subscribers, like nearly instantly. Then she disabled it, so that loss might be a lot more than 15,000. And she released this fake apology on her Reddit, which who's gonna look there? That's why she's doing kind of damage control. She doesn't want to address it on YouTube because a lot of people probably don't even know about it, so she doesn't want, let's say, 75% of her audience to hear about what's happening. She wants to hide it from as many people as possible for as long as possible. She even said on her Instagram that she's not gonna address it. But let's break down her apology. My degree is in film production with a specialization in script writing. The foundation of writing a film is the writing of dialogue. So we're gonna address why her apology is actually a non-apology and what's wrong with that. Okay, so her message is, hello my little shower liners, I want to just comment on what's going on here to you guys, the ones I actually care about, not drama seekers using my name for clout on YouTube. Okay, so first of all, no one even knew who you are before this drama, so how are they using your name for clout? Because until D'Angelo posted this, you were irrelevant. No one would have actually searched your name like up in the search engine. I don't understand why you think people are using you for clout. I have been listening to your feedback through all this and I hear you. You want more positive videos and less armchair diagnostics. That's totally cool with me. I want my channel to be a place where you leave feeling better, not worse, so I'm taking that note and will put it to use. That's not what people have been complaining about. It's one of the points, but what about racism, sexism and all of the wrong things that you've said? That is not enough. I blocked D'Angelo because he posted my address and phone number on Twitter. I've had zero contact with him, never heard of him, and he's doxing me. Whatever you think of me, that's not okay. Okay, he's not doxing you. He's proven in his own video that that's not true. And also, how would he get your address and phone number if you are not even that famous? I don't understand why you can make such a claim that is debunked so easily. I am never ever going to do a clapback video about any of those people, not ever. Anyone who wants me to is no different than someone circled up outside a bar shouting fight, fight, fight. Dress it up as wow, thought you were different, however you want, but you're here for drama, I'm here for the growth. If you are here for the growth, you have to acknowledge everything wrong you've ever done. Because it's all coming to the surface, and if you wanna, the first step in growth is admitting you are wrong, which you are not doing. You are deflecting. Did I post a rather lame, weird tweet 10 years ago? Yes, I sure did. I guess I was lame and weird 10 years ago. I mean, I definitely was. I was in the throes of depression, just out of that abusive relationship I've discussed, a cutter, just a mess. But through therapy and medicine, I changed my life. Okay, so there's so much to unpack here. It's not a weird tweet, it's illegal. You are 25, that guy is like, what, 16? That's what Justin Bieber was when she wrote the tweet. And actually she was not even 25, she was 29 because she lied about her age. And the fact that you're still doing this with young guys like Shawn Mendes, who's like in his what, like early 20s or something, you're still doing this, so you haven't changed at all. And then you're saying that you had depression and you were in an abusive relationship, but then you are bashing people like Selena and Pete Davidson for citing their mental illness, and you're saying, did anyone ask? Well, did anyone ask you right now if you had depression? No one cares. This is not, it doesn't justify it. Ask yourself who you were a decade ago and if you're different now, and if you are different and better, have I and the support of the Shallowness helped you become the better person? I want everyone to feel they have the room to grow, and I'm working to provide that to myself as well. This is a narcissist speaking. Have I helped you grow? No, I bet you haven't helped anyone grow. You've only helped them to stagnate to this high school gossip girl mingle stage. This is what you've done. I don't feel like anyone can take any of the advice from a woman who's nearly 40 and she's still single. Like, how are you giving relationship advice when you jumped from casually dating a person to casually dating another one, and all these people, probably they are the ones to leave you because there's something wrong with you, and you are 40 and you are unhappy? How can you give other people advice? Like I said, I care about what you guys, actual Shallowners, think, because my true fans are thinking women, we're growing women, we're bold, badass women, and those kinds of women, well, we ruffle some feathers. Okay, so you are telling me that because you are controversial and you ruffle some feathers, it's other people's fault for being offended, and you're also telling me that your fans are thinking women, but you are not actually allowing them to form an opinion that is against you. So they can only be thinking women as long as they agree with you, but then as soon as they don't agree, they are not thinking women, they are sexist and backwards women. If I've been ruffling your feathers, I'm sorry. Just know I take this all seriously. I'm super new to this profession, and I know I seem like I should have it all figured out, but who does? I can't anymore. So her apology is, I'm sorry if you are offended. I have been writing for film scripts for 3 years in my university, and I've worked for websites, magazines, so I do have experience. It's not gossip related, but I just want to express how wrong saying I'm sorry if I offended you is. This is not how you apologize. Your apology should never be, I'm sorry if I offended you, I'm sorry that you are offended, or I'm sorry about you being offended. They should never be phrased like that, because that implies you are only sorry because you've offended someone. So if no one was offended by this, you wouldn't be sorry you said it. The right way to apologize is, I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for saying offensive things, not I'm sorry for offending you. That's a different meaning completely, and it changes it. I'm sorry for offending you. It means you are sorry that the other person is upset. I'm sorry for offending you means that you are only upset that the person got offended and not about your action. But saying I'm sorry for saying racist things, that means you are sorry about what you did, not sorry about the other person's reaction. And that is the right way to apologize, is I'm sorry for doing that. So her way of apologizing is manipulative and wrong, and it's pretty much, sorry if you are offended. And then, I'm super new to this profession. No, you're not. You've been doing this for over 10 years, and you've been working in tabloid magazines for longer than that. So how can you tell me you are new to this and you don't know what criticism means when you spent your whole life criticizing other people? That's a big fat lie. I truly admire each and every one of you, and you make me better, as I hopefully make you better too. Shower liners provide crucial support to each other and the bathroom. That's not funny. I'm not going to make a habit of responding to these types of things, but I want you to know I hear you. So you admire people as long as they agree with you, but the moment they disagree, they are erased and you don't care. They are not true fans, they are clout chasers and drama seekers. I truly hope you realize how wrong you are and delete your YouTube channel, because this is not a positive experience for anyone at this point. This woman is charging $40 for her love advice. $40 from a middle-aged single woman. No thanks. I can figure it out on my own better than with your advice. I'm sure it's gonna be useless. That's all for today's video. Please unsubscribe to Shallon Lester and subscribe to me. Thanks.